and welcome to another session with me where I'm alive with you. And this week's focus is all about talking about what I'm working on and why, and I've got a specific topic in mind as well. So I'm talking about getting back consistency, hyper-focus on strategic aligned marketing and sales, and what I'm working on right now and why. So if you don't know me, I'm Dani Louise Smith. I'm a business coach, mentor, podcaster, speaker and best-selling author of Business Fundamentals, and I love working with coaches and therapists to enable you to halve your delivery time but make more money while you do that. I'm here today bringing a injection of what I love to do. I love to come live every week and talk about different topics. I like to do trainings, I like to do audits, something that you can actually take and go away and implement into your business. And I also like to show you a little bit behind the scenes of what I'm working on and why, because I love teaching from the place that I'm at and I love taking you on the journey with me. So I'm here today and I'm talking about getting back consistency, hyper-focus on strategic aligned marketing and sales, and what I'm working on right now and why. So there's different elements to this. I do need to bring in a bit of an element of a personal story in this instance of getting back consistency. And I think this is something that's actually key for a lot of people right now when it comes to gaining back consistency. So for me, this year has been one of the most challenging years. And I'm not even afraid to admit that right now. And I was actually ashamed, and I was holding guilt and shame around that. And I want to eliminate that for you right now as well. Because we are not growing, we are not moving, we are not manifesting, we're not doing what we want when we're in the energy, when we are allowing ourselves to feel those feelings. Of course, if they're there, recognise them, acknowledge them, but then it's about moving through them, okay? And this is something I was stuck with for quite some time. And this year has been challenging in terms of health, in terms of finances, in terms of the success of the business, to be honest. And I run multiple businesses, and my other one has been doing really, really well. And it's kind of difficult to show up when you feel that way. But actually, I want to show up now and show it. Not only talk about it, be transparent and be honest. Might put some people off, but the truth of the matter is, it does not impact my work being able to do what I do and help you with your business. The same as a therapist might need to go to therapy. A mindset coach might need help with their mindset. Your doctor still needs to go to a doctor when they've got health concerns, right? This is the stuff I'm talking about. We need to stop holding shame around this. And it was Gemma Holden, aka Mrs. Mindset on Facebook, that empowered me with this yesterday. But this topic I already had set in stone for today, and I want to relate it to my own circumstances and experience, and I want to show you a way how you can gain back consistency no matter what you've been through. So I'm going to keep this brief, but in summer I decided to work less this year and spend a lot more time with my family. I usually work the whole of the summer. This time I decided to take 2 full weeks off. I actually went away for the first week of summer, which was amazing. I had 2 people on my team working for me, them doing things while I was away. It was just a breath of fresh air, especially having an amazing aligned team that knew what they were doing, could take over, could deal with things while I was away, right? That was amazing. And then I came back to work and summer went on, but we had activities booked. I did things with my children for the next 4 weeks, and so I didn't actually spend a lot of time actively working or moving the business forward. I literally showed up for my clients and that was about it. And that's the beauty of being able to choose that and do that. And then in the final week, I had another week off with my family, again, doing things. There was no client sessions, and that was it. That was the 6 weeks of summer, which meant that behind the scenes, the work wasn't happening and getting done to move my businesses forward. Then we hit September, and I expected, when I made these plans, to be able to come and hit September running. However, I got very, very ill at the beginning of September. So ill, in fact, that it... Excuse me, I'm actually a bit poorly right now, again. But this was horrendous. So ill that I couldn't do day-to-day tasks. I stopped showing up on social media. I stopped sending email marketing out. I didn't. I wasn't building connections, wasn't going to networking events. I even had some occasions in the beginning where I couldn't show up for my clients and I had to set my mastermind back a week. Or maybe 2 weeks, and I was absolutely gutted, but my clients were amazing and we got started halfway through September, later than planned, but it was a blessing to be able to do that. It involved a 14-hour stint in hospital, so A&E, and then waiting to see a doctor, going back to hospital on my birthday. It was horrendous, and still having physical symptoms after that with no diagnosis of anything other than viral infection, and knowing what was going on. And it was sending me into a spiral. I just wanted to get back to work. I wanted to get back to what I love, but I physically couldn't do it. It was literally like it had been taken away from me overnight. It was awful. And so the result of having summer off and having September being so ill meant that, I stopped posting. I stopped marketing. I stopped making connections and networking. So it resulted in October needing to gain back consistency. So my advice to you when it comes to gaining back consistency is exactly what I'd say with anything in your business that feels big, that feels heavy, that feels overwhelming, is to do it incrementally. And this is my best advice if like me, you can get easily overwhelmed. And if you're feeling like you're managing well, add a bit more in, but just be mindful of your energy levels and where you're at. Because after doing nothing for a while, bringing yourself back, you don't want to overwhelm yourself. So when it comes to getting back consistency, one thing, one step at a time is my best advice, okay? Taking it steady. Yes, it might mean less results, but it also might mean that you can actually compound effect it, and you do little and often over time, and then you're able to remain consistent versus going all in, throwing everything in, seeing if it sticks, actually overwhelming yourself and completely burning out and being back at square one again. We don't want to ride that kind of roller coaster, and I'm a huge advocate of that. Freedom in your business does not look like getting on this cycle of consistent burnout and overwhelm. It just doesn't, right? And so I wanted to be able to... Sorry, I'm just having technical difficulties at the minute. Okay, I don't know what I need to do about that. I'm just going to ignore it. Hopefully everything will work out okay. So yeah, going back to what I was saying, consistency, little and often. Freedom is not about being in this burnout cycle. We need to change that. It needs to change within the space of business owners and the way they're running the business. I always say how you manage things, how you operate is fundamental to how you feel and the results that you get, right? So that's what I wanted to cover first and foremost. And the second thing is I wanted to talk about hyper-focus on strategy and aligned marketing and sales, because there's no denying the fact that if you're selling online in particular, I work online, my clients work online, I do actually do a lot in person now as well, but there is no denying that the market has changed. Whatever industry you're in, the market has changed. Selling alone cannot be done just on marketing. You need to have an ecosystem. Excuse me, I am actually full of cold, so I do apologise for my constant coughing. But it's full. It's like you need to have a full ecosystem. You need to know what you're doing strategically. And for those people who had been winging it possibly, had no plan in place, no structure, I guarantee their results have dipped for that reason alone. Because you need to have intention behind your actions, right? And this is why I made the decision over summer, while I did take that time to step back, I decided to think about how I actually wanted to show up in my business. And this had been on my mind quite a lot over the year. I love talking. I love doing things like this. I love going live. I love just talking about what I love and connecting with people. I love that. I also love writing. I actually love creating content. So I decided that I needed to be strategic with that and make my content work for me. Create this ecosystem that I'd been desiring. And so that's exactly what I hyper-focused on. I created a whole brand new strategy. In fact, I revised my whole service suite as well and built a strategy around that with aligned marketing that I wanted to show up for, that I loved, such as being able to talk on the topics that I love in business, being able to network and speak and connect with people, and being able to bring this into the elements of my marketing as well, easily, efficiently and effectively. And that's what I got focused on. And then when it comes to sales, again, bringing in that connection, bringing that human experience in is something that I've decided to focus on. So I am going to tell you what I did, and it was literally creating my content in a way that felt good for me, that was aligned, marketing in that way, then repurposing it as much as possible to save me time, which has worked and been so effective. So effective. I feel like the consistency got there, but then I got poorly, so it kind of set me back again. So we've had to kind of fight to get that back, especially as I'm now full of cold again and struggling with this. Had to choose rest this week over work, and that is okay. It's about accepting it and moving on. And eventually you can gain back the consistency, you can get that momentum and get back on track. It's just acknowledging where you're at and being able to move from that. But when you're doing it in a way where you're marketing in a way that's aligned with you, it becomes a lot easier to show up and do. Like, it could have been easier for me to say today not to come and show up and do this live, but actually I love talking about these topics and I love enlightening other people so it can help you. So if you relate to this, you've been ill, you have, for whatever reason, not been consistent, maybe you've been winging it and you've not been clear on your strategy, and the way you're showing up doesn't align with you, take this as your sign to take action on that. Think about, how do you want to connect with people? How do you want to connect with your ideal client? How do you want to show up online, on social media? It might be that you don't even want to do social media at all. So it's definitely something to think about. So what am I working on right now and why? I am working on this still. And this is something I shared last month in last month's live session around what I'm working on. I'm still working on this because I've been poorly, gaining back consistency. However, I am also working on a rebrand. I'm working on a rebrand for good reason, and this will start to slowly drip feed rather than a massive announcement, because I've actually just scrapped a lot of my website pages. None of that is aligned with me anymore. I've evolved since then. My knowledge is different. My area of focus is different. And again, I've honed in on what my expertise is, what I'm good at, and what I naturally can bring to the table to support those of you that are therapists and coaches in business who lack that organisation, who want to create more freedom, want to get back more time, but still have an impact. And so that is what I've massively honed in on right now, and my focus has massively shifted. So I am working on rebrand, comes with a new website, massive focus on SEO, again this ecosystem of marketing with my content, getting that strategy aligned and focused. I'm also working on, so for those of you who don't know, I have my very first in-person bigger event next month, Innovation Celebration. I'm already working on next year's event and the plans for that. We are, little shout out, little push, I am looking for speakers and sponsors and loads of different opportunities to spend the year getting visible. So if you're wanting to put yourself in the spotlight and your ideal client are those who are interested in personal development or are in business, then this is the perfect space for you. So come and have a chat with me, and I will share the sponsorship and speaker packages available for you to be part of. But I'm planning that right now for next year. And part of me question, like, should I do it? Because it's been hell creating an event this year. However, I've invested in support in that. So that's something I've worked on. I've invested in support for that. The right support from someone who has done it and can help me really well. I have also... I'm also doing this because it's part of my mission to make change. I want to make change and I want to create this. I want to have an impact, and so I'm leading with that, and I am doing another event next year. Call me insane, I think I am, but I'm passionate about it, I'm excited about it, and that's what I want to do. So that's what I'm working on right now. I'm working on future plans for this time next year, my next Innovation Celebration 2026 event, which is all about celebrating the year. So it's like my idea was like I wanted to have a Christmas work do for those of us in business because we don't get one, right? So that's an element of it. But the second part of it is being able to innovate and make change with your business, with your mission, with your clients, through learning, through personal, professional development. So that's what we're bringing into the room. And we're going to have fun as well. So I'm creating that. I'm working on that massively right now. Working on the in-person stuff that I'm doing. So behind the scenes, I've got my first in-person strategic shift day, which is with 7 people who come and spend a day masterminding with me, and I'm so excited. I'm working on my mastermind. I'm working on improving my own operations in my business, because the things that I teach is what I practice what I preach. It's all got to be worked at, right? And that's exactly what I'm working at now. It's been done incrementally, and it's starting to have a compound effect, but massively. And I'm talking about this a lot on social media today and tomorrow. I am working on connection, collaboration, and community, and personal outreach. I want to get to know the people in my world. So if we don't know each other that well yet, pop me a message, let me know what you do, let's have a conversation. Doesn't mean I'm just going to instantly sell to you, unless there's something that you ask for or that you want. And that is what it's about. That's what selling is about. It's about being able to serve people when they want and need it. And that is what I want to focus on. That is what I'm working on. Because I'm good at sales when I really focus on it like that. So that's what I'm doing. So, yeah, that is it. That's what I'm working on right now. That's it in a nutshell, really. There's not much of an update after recent events, but, you know, we're in the last quarter of this year. Things are moving, things are happening. And also something that I will be working on will be my plans for next year. I love that a client has gone out so I can join a Thursday live. I'm about to wrap it up. However, yeah. So think about what you want to do for 2026. Yes, it's only October, but what you decide now, the plans you put in place now, will have an impact on this time next year, as far in advance as that. Strategic thinking, strategic movement is so important, but it all starts with clarity. I'm actually just going to quickly run through my charm framework, because this is what I use myself with my clients all the time, because it makes a difference, right? It's clarity, starting with knowing what you actually want. It's about then honouring the commitment to it in whatever way you need to. It's about accepting the resources that you have, or where you're at, or what's available to you. Sometimes might require an investment. And then it's about making sure that while you do this, because we want to create freedom, we don't want you to burn out. It's about having that opportunity to rest, to recover, to rise, to be resilient. And then it's about making the moves that are going to get you to where you want to be. Okay? And that is my charm framework. It goes more in depth than that, of course, and I do have a free masterclass that encompasses the charm framework for taking strategic action and working on your business strategy, and you can have access to that. All you have to do is pop me a message and I'll send it over. So that's it for today. And I'm going to go ahead and get prepared to be with my clients now. Thank you so much for joining me. Please do let me know your thoughts. Like, has any of this resonated for you? Has this hit home for your experiences in 2025? Has any actions arose from this? Things that you're going to focus on, things that you're going to implement and going to do? Let me know. I always love to hear what you have got and gained from this. Okay? Until next time, I actually won't be live next week because it's half term. So Thursday morning, I'm actually at a networking event in the morning quite early, and then I'm meeting my kids at an event nearby, and I'm taking them for a slime making workshop, a spooky Halloween themed one, and we're doing all the Halloween things next week. So I will be doing that. So miss you, but I'll be back same time, same place, the week after next, when we will be in November. Bye for now.